we have something over here. Cheese Slice, if you can bring this up really quickly. I don't know if y'all know this. One of the reasons that the Convo Couch got suspended, we think, because they're very vague in their guidelines, is the fact that you couldn't talk about elections, that you were considered an election denier. They took you down. Niko House talked about this. We all got suspended on the first try. We got suspended, and that was that. But you can see right here, I'm going to bring it up now. We can just, if you can make it bigger, can you make it bigger like on your screen? You know how to make that bigger? There you go. Perfect. YouTube announced the policy reversal on Friday, saying it will stop removing content that falsely claims the 2020 election or other past U.S. presidential elections were marred by widespread fraud, errors, or glitches. Now, there's a lot of talk about what this particular thing is, the situation. Is this a situation where the, where is it really quick? Let me bring this up here. Put that down there. Is this a situation where the Democrats are going to say that things are unfair, and now this is going to give them carte blanche to start yelling, start cursing, start doing whatever they want, when they silenced a lot of conservatives who were saying that last election was fair? It's crazy that, first of all, I'm going to have to take the main video off of YouTube right off the bat when it came to the whole COVID stuff. I probably shouldn't have gone ahead and do that, but this I'm allowed to do now. And I wasn't allowed to do this for quite some time. We got a strike once for covering the hearing in Arizona on the unfair election, what they believe, the first audit. Remember the audit? We got a strike for that. And all we did was cover the public hearing. So now we can start talking about these things. But this is very interesting, ladies and gentlemen. They're now going to allow us to talk about why or what elections, the process, the framework. So I'm going to have to get back on the horse and get back on the saddle. It looks like I might be going to the Ecuador. it looks like I might have to be going. I will be going to Ecuador to cover that election. Might be just jumped on in. And we definitely got Argentina this year, but there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. The Kerry Lake election, if you haven't been following that, the court, the lawsuit, it's now been once again thrown out, notwithstanding. And now she's taking it to the United States Supreme Court. So that's very interesting because it is explaining a lot about what's going on, the problems that we have. Number one, and we're going to just go over these again and again because it's so important. Number one, we need to get the public involved more than anything. Over. That's the first thing we got to do. When you go to these other countries and you go to like Nicaragua, you go to Honduras, you go to Peru, you go to Brazil, the public is heavily involved. And we have to make sure that instead of using these other, what do you call those groups? Those part-time help when you hire these groups to come on in. Cheese Slice, you know what I'm talking about over here? These other groups, damn, I forgot what they're called. Contractors, these subcontractors. But they're like these little part-time subcontractors. It's not like there's a certain name for it. It's not like a contracted group of workers where workers are always there. It's like they go out and they throw ads up. They're not NGOs. They're little like subcontractors, but they run ads. Hey, if you're interested in working in the election, hit me up at this one. So they're just picking and peeling people off the streets. They're not even like, have all these groups for quite some time. They are non-governmental organizations, and they hired them to do all this work. And this work why would they do that? The citizens can do this work. So we have to go and show up and say, hey, man, we want you to spend money on the citizens. We want the citizens to be involved. There were more poll workers than voters a lot of times when they open at these election spots in these other countries. Literally, when I got in Sao Paulo, when I walked up, I was like, wow, there's a lot of people waiting to vote. It was like about 150 people in line. They were all the workers checking in, getting ready to work, like 150 of them. You might have 14, 15 at a vote center that's going to have 10,000 votes in one day. That's ridiculous. So we got to be involved. We have to have more eyes on the process. And that's not just Republicans, grassroots Democrats, independents, libertarians, Green parties, Moving for the People Party peoples. All you guys got to join in, jump in, and demand that you want to work. You know what I'm saying? You got to bug them because that's the thing. So many people say, I applied. I said I would volunteer, but nobody called me. They don't call you on purpose so they can go get that money and spend your tax dollars to hire these other non-governmental organizations to do the work that the citizens, can do. And the citizens that have a stake in the game. Okay. Number two, we got to push to change the rules. The chain of custody. Chain of custody is so important. The chain of custody is in the purview of the public's eye, not in the purview of all these other companies, what we've seen in Arizona. Like, well, this never leaves our chain of custody. We're keeping an eye on the ballots. That's not what chain of custody is. You don't trust some other company that you don't even know who hires them, who fires them, who runs them to run your elections. You got to run your elections. So chain of company is in the purview of the eye of the purview of the people, of the citizens. Okay, so that's really, really important. Number 3, we got to make sure that we go back to in-precinct voting and in-precinct counting. Where it's cast, it is counted. So we have to go back to the precinct thing, where you have an assigned precinct to go to, an assigned spot. None of this vote center place where you can go anywhere you want. When they're selling it as, oh, it's just very easy. It's convenient. You can share. If you're over there, you can vote. You can go over here. They do that on purpose because it makes it almost impossible to audit. And then the last thing we have to do is we got to make sure there is public counting by hand in that precinct. None of this proprietary software. If we're going to use a machine to count the ballots, it could check the hand count, or the hand count can check the ballots, but it's got to be done in that spot at the precinct level. And also, we got to make sure that it's very efficient. That's the way they broke the system, ladies and gentlemen. They told you that, why don't you get a mail-in ballot? Because why would you want to wait 2-3 hours to vote? They did that on purpose to sell you that. Dude, it takes, if you put all the countries in together, right? And you use the worst times, which Honduras had some long lines. They had some problems here and there, but nothing like we experienced in America. You would say the average time to vote is maybe 11 minutes. But if you would eliminate the longest times, it's an average of 6-7 minutes to vote, guys. That's what it is. It's efficient. It's done on a Sunday, on a holiday. And then therefore you freaking just, you know what I'm saying? You just go in, you vote, boom, results that night, counting. We need to get back to all that. I'm going to do a lot more elections coverage as we move forward. But now YouTube has reversed their policy, so it's going to be interesting. I was wondering if they'll monetize us again. We're going to have to apply for monetization, see if they put us back up for monetization. And that would be a huge help. The demonetization, we're in the 3rd year of demonetization, guys. It kills you. It kneecaps you. So that's that. YouTube is now reverses its policy on election coverage. We'll stay tuned. We'll see what's going on. And now we can have these shows on YouTube. But we want you to go over to the Rokfin if you can. If you can sign up over there, it's awesome. It would help us out. That is our free speech platform. We're still rocking it there. We're waiting for the individual subscription that should come. But if you got $14.99 to spare and you can do that, please do so, because it would help out so much. Go over there and do that for us if you can.